it's going to be cloudy. All I'm going to say, Louis, it should rain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My grass, it hurts my feet when I walk on it. It's crazy.
time,
It's like walking on a Brillo pad.
Yeah, yesterday was weird. What a weird day.
Well, yesterday I was coming home and I was on 93 and I just passed exit 2. And between exit 2 and exit 3, it opened up. It poured.
Yep.
It poured. And I'm saying to myself, oh, great. The lawn's going to get a good watering. Forget about it. I'm about a mile and a half from my house. It stops. Nothing. Nandi, as they say, Nandi.
I was on 16 going up towards Dover, and there was a motorcyclist next to me, a Harley guy.
Yeah.
And we were looking up about a half mile of the road, and it was a downpour half mile up the road. I'm just looking at the guy, and he looks at me.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner. My name is Mikey. Lou's in the studio pushing the right buttons, I hope.
Me too.
And next to me, somebody who needs no introduction here in the Merrimack Valley. A guy that manages to get more pictures in the paper than anybody I know. And it doesn't have to be the Lawrence Eagle Tribune, the Boston Gazette, Pam Donnarumma's newspaper.
Yep.
He's a regular.
But that's the way it should be.
I don't know how you do it. You got to teach me.
I just do good things.
I just do good things.
That's right.
How many events do you go to during the course of a year?
I've lost track. I'm out pretty much every night and weekends, and the chamber does 110
really?
programs a year.
Wow.
Yeah, the idea is that, I think when I was an elected official, I thought it was important that if someone had elected me as a city councilor or as a school committee member, that if they were doing an event, I should go because I wanted to show support for what they did.
That's the right thing to do.
With the chamber, if we have members that want to do ribbon cuttings on a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll go. If they do it at night, I'll go. And we're doing 2 or 3 ribbon cuttings a week. We're doing 110 programs ourselves. So the idea is that we want to be where people are, because that's what the chamber is all about, and that's what we're all about, and that's what I'm all about. So, and I'm lucky that we have friends in Boston and throughout the state, and because I'm on a couple state boards and
the Consul General.
Yeah.
Oh, he rubs elbows with a few people.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to formally introduce you. You're the president and CEO.
Yeah, but he spelled my name wrong, and I'm Italian.
Did I? Oh,
yeah.
God.
You forgot the C.
That's right. Yeah, we'll fix it. We'll take care of it. Good eyes. Good eyes. But Joe, you're the CEO and president of the Merrimack Valley Chamber. Over 1,000 businesses?
Well, we're up to we lost some because of during the pandemic, we lost some because of the mergers. The banks merged, some of the other organizations merged. Companies like Western Electric went out. So we're about 900 now, but with the largest.
Just 900?
Yeah. We're the largest, most awarded chamber in this region.
I was just going to ask you how you stood like in the state of Massachusetts, size-wise.
We're the best. We're simply the best. And I mean that sincerely. I'm the former chairman of the New England Chamber of Commerce Association and the State Chamber of Commerce Association. I've spoken to chambers around the country. Without a doubt, we're the most active, and I think we're the best because we serve the members. We serve their needs, and we bring.
We're going to get into that because I really don't understand 100%. I don't know if Louis does, but I don't. What the role the chamber plays. I know it's a lot about networking, but we're going to get into that.
Sure.
But you mentioned the Chamber of Commerce. Louis, do you know the first Chamber of Commerce started in France in 1599?
I know because I got your email last night.
I sent it to you. Yeah. I couldn't believe that, Joe.
No, it's amazing. Well, our chamber started 1888.
Wow.
In Lawrence. Can you believe that? 1888. I wasn't
and
around.
You look good.
I do. I think I do.
How many years you been president?
Almost 30. I didn't apply. I didn't apply for the jury. They came and got me. I was the economic development director in Haverhill. And they in fact, I'll tell you, want to hear a funny story?
Sure.
I'll tell you a funny story. So they asked me if I'd apply, and I said no. So they put a committee together, and they had me be interviewed by different committee members, and I said I'm really interested because I was, my plan was to be more involved in the city of Haverhill. So don't
get me going on that because you cost me $10.
So they bring me to Boston, and they have a national known headhunting firm who interviewed me, and they said, things are so bad at the Lawrence Chamber that they believe they'll hire a real director. They'll hire a director. He or she will burn themselves out. Then they'll hire a real director in a year. And being Italian, I shot back. If I took it, I wouldn't fail. And they said, would you take? And I said, no. So next thing, this is true story. This is all true. So one of the bank presidents was head of the search committee. The community college president was involved, as well as some few other, high end people. So they bring me to a meeting at the bank, and a small room like this. And they, with the initial search committee, they said, the recommendations are that you become our next president, CEO. Would you take it? And I said, no, I'm really not interested. I'm happy where I am. They said, good, come with me. They bring me to the board of directors meeting. And everyone gets up and claps, and they say, meet your new president, including the Tribune was there. Wow. So that's how I got hired. And
that's a great story.
And the first
refused to take no for an answer.
And the first board meeting, one of the board members, we were broke at the time. The first board member got up and said, we're going to merge with another chamber. And I shot back saying, no, they're going to merge with us, not even know what that meant. The other chamber went bankrupt, and we're now one of the strongest in the country because of our members, because of our directors, because of the communities we're in, and because we work hard.
Your administrator in the office,
Mary Beth, yeah, she's
Mary
fantastic.
Beth, she's nice. She's a good person.
She's very nice.
Yeah. She's been with you for a while.
Yes, and it's amazing. We do 110 programs a year, big programs. Some are big, and we only have there's only two other people, myself and Michael, who's the vice president, CEO, and Mary Beth, and it's just us.
I hear very good things about your son.
Well, I don't want to say it because he's my son, but he's an MBA. He's worked there 13 years. He started from the bottom up. He actually started with my other son as a volunteer at our golf tournament. Yes, true. I would bring them with me at the golf tournament. I'd bring them with me at the expo. My wife volunteers at different chamber functions. So it's really like a family affair. But Michael started as a volunteer, went to school to become an MBA, was involved in finance, and then after a while said to me, I really like to do what you're doing. I want, and by coincidence, I was going to have a retirement in my office, and so I was able to make a change. And I remember some of the directors who were very concerned that family can't work together, and then they said, we've tried it in our organization, it's failed. And I said, it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail, and we're going to make it succeed. And he's been there 13 years, and he's won all kinds of awards as well. It's amazing.
Wow. You're very well recognized throughout Massachusetts. I mean, I'm in Boston quite a bit. I used to be a lot more, and your name would come up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Joe? 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 Yeah, I know Joe. I alluded to earlier about losing a $10 bet to Tommy Zappla.
Several times.
I'm sorry?
Several times you've alluded to it.
Yeah. We, when our good friend Jim Ferrantini decided to step aside.
Yep.
And he was 22 years, something like that?
Yeah, the longest serving mayor in the city.
Yeah. And I know what Joe has done in the city of Haverhill. I mean, you held quite a few different positions.
Yeah, I was the
school committee.
I was the only person that's been the top vote recipient in both the city council and the school committee races. So I'm very honored. I truly appreciate the people that supported me.
Well, I bet, Joe, and I'm really kind of annoyed at this because I hate losing. I especially hate losing to him because he doesn't let it go. Mm-hmm. But I thought for sure that Joe was going to be the next mayor of Haverhill. And we shook hands on a bet. I ended up, if I would have shook hands with him and I would have won, I'd still be waiting for the $10 bill. I'd have to start charging him interest. But I really thought you would be a perfect fit.
Well, let me tell you, I thought it was just time I voluntarily stepped down. I didn't lose any election, and I just thought it was time to just step back and just see what was happening. And every single day, I have people who are upset with me saying the same thing. I mean, literally every day, no matter where I go.
Oh, I believe it.
People tell me all the time.
I believe.
We're mad you didn't do this. We're upset. I hope you do. So, I tell them, who knows what the future brings. The future is always open.
This is true. And listening to you and watching you talk to me, you're as excited today as you were probably when you first started doing this.
I got that from my father. I'm serious. I got that from my father. My father was absolutely.
Was your dad born in this country?
Yes, yes. But he was my father was the best. He would. My father spoke about 10, 12 languages. He grew up.
I can't even speak English.
No. He grew up in a multi-ethnic neighborhood, and my father loved people. He would help anybody, and I learned that from my father. And the thing with my father is that he was very, very proud of being Italian. He was very, very proud of his family. He was a hard worker, and but my father was just outgoing, and we would be in Boston in the North End walking through the North End, and I'd be talking to my father. He wouldn't be answering me. I look back, and he's talking to someone in Italian. You know,
I think that's awesome.
It was me. He could speak Armenian. He could speak French. He could speak Polish. You know, he could speak Yiddish. I mean, it's amazing. And he just had that ability to talk to people. He was the manager of the First National grocery stores in Haverhill. And my father was the kind of person that if he knew you were having a hard time, he would take, and I saw this with my own eyes, he would take a package of meat and he'd write on it, manager special, and put it back in the case. And then if he saw someone that was having a hard time, he'd say to him, hey, Bill or Mary or whatever the name was, how's everything? And they'd say, well, you know, I'm sick or I've been out of work, whatever. And my father said, they just mark these down, the manager special, you ought to take advantage of it. And that's how he was. He was the kind of person that
That's amazing.
He'd give, I remember my father's wake, this guy came in, an older guy came in, all dressed up in his old clothes, but they were his fancy clothes. And he said, you don't know me. I didn't know your father, but when my wife was dying in the hospital, I was walking up the street in the winter, in the snow. Your father pulled over and said, do you need a ride? And he took him to the hospital to visit his wife. And that's how my father was. He was that kind of a guy.
Wow.
So,
that's unheard of today.
No, that's how my father was. He was much better than I am. And so, and if there was something that needed to be done, you know, I knew my father was going to do it. And I knew that my father would, you know, sacrifice for his kids, you know, my two sisters and myself. And so I can't disappoint him. To this day, I told the board of directors, this is a true story. And I know it sounds corny.
That's an impressive list on your board of directors.
No,
Joe.
I know, but listen to this. So I told the board, I've been on 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different boards. But as far as the chamber board directors, I told them I will never do anything wrong. Not because of the fact that, first, I won't do anything wrong. But secondly, I will never do anything to embarrass my father's name. And I told them that. And to this day,
that speaks volumes.
No, to this day, you know, I think of my father every day, and I'll do anything I can to make sure that I'm not doing anything that impinges his name or obviously my mother's name, and that's the way I was raised. And my kids are the same way.
And you grew up in Haverhill.
I grew up in Haverhill, yep. And you know, my kids are the same way. My wife makes an Italian Sunday dinner every day. My kids come every Sunday. My kids come. We have an Italian dinner. My kids still come.
You know, you sound like Ray DiFiore. My cousin Kay, his wife, she still invites everybody comes over the house. They have to be there on Sunday. No phones, no nothing,
right.
no.
Yeah, that's the way it was. You know,
I think that, to me, I think that's awesome. Families don't spend enough time together.
No, not anymore.
And of course, the blue laws had a lot to do with it. You know, when everything was closed on Sunday, it was different. It was a different ball game. You know, now Sunday is one of the biggest shopping days.
Yeah.
You know, for years I worked for the DeMoulas family, and I always had New Hampshire, so I was always cut with Sundays. I had Sundays in 1966. I had a Sunday to work, you know, or every other Sunday. And then when I got transferred to we went to Chelsea to open up the Chelsea store. And I said, oh, I'm in Massachusetts. I get away from Sundays, get a day off, get nice. Then about 6 months later, they passed the law and they opened on Sunday. So I couldn't win for losing, you know. With your grandparents, where are they from?
My grandparents on my father's side, they were born in Italy.
Whereabouts?
In 2 places, in Grotto Menard, and also a place called, which is Avellino. In Avellino area. And then on my mother's side, my grandparents were actually born here in America, but they were from Sicily. Okay. And lived in Lawrence. My grandfather was born in Lawrence, and then my grandmother obviously was born in Haverhill. But you know, I'm 100% Italian. You know, which is
I know that.
Yeah, 100% Italian. And
I can see the hand motion.
Yeah. You know, and
we got it going.
In fact, when I was in Sicily last year, I was with some people that just spoke Italian, and I actually could understand what they were saying because of their hands.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's amazing, you know, and you know, I watch it on TV a lot, but it's amazing how Italians speak with their hands and use the expression with their hands. And you know, a lot of people joke about that. You know, you can't tie up their hands, but it's a means of communication.
No question about it. Have you been to Italy much since you guys have been married?
No. Well, we went last year. We went to Sicily last year.
Time?
No, I went to Italy back. It was a high school graduation gift from my father and mother. So I went to Italy then.
Yeah,
My
my,
wife
my
went-
father gave me. I went to North Reading for the weekend. That's a nice gift to get for
Well,
graduating
I'll
from
tell
high
you,
school.
I'll tell you back then, I don't know if they do it or not now, but back then they had high school graduation trips, and so I went with a bunch of people and from high school, and it was interesting. I saw a lot and did a lot. I made the mistake, because I'm involved. I was a national chairman of an organization that was I represented the national chairs of an association. So every state had a chair of a board, and I was the chairman of all the chairs. And so I got a chance to go across the country. I went to Boeing Airport.
Seriously?
No, seriously. I went to the Boeing headquarters in Seattle. I went to the Ford Motor Company in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to 3 or 4 other states. We would meet in Washington. The president's cabinet people would come down and talk to us. So I had a chance to speak to people around the country. And then also because I was involved with the chamber, I was the chairman of the New England Chamber Association and the State Chamber Association. I spoke to chambers around the country. I spent a lot of time speaking in America, and I regret now that I didn't spend more time in Europe. I actually had a chance. There used to be an Italian-American Chamber of Commerce Association, and in Europe, chambers are more important than local governments, I'm told. And I had a chance to go to 3 different communities in Italy, but I didn't go because my kids were still very, very young at the time. But no, but I wish I had spent more time in Europe, though. It's just a whole different way of life.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much to see, and there's so much to see right here in New England.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, New England is absolutely beautiful. Lou, I have no clock on this computer,
Time
so
to go.
you tell me when it's time to
It's time.
take a break.
Yeah, let's take our break.
Huh?
Let's take our break.
Okay.
We're
He's
a
the
little
boss.
late.
All right.
I get it. I get
say
it.
hello. I say goodbye. Other than that, it's him.
He's got the
All right.
buttons.
Listen, we're going to be right back, everybody. Stay tuned. We got a lot to discuss with Joe. So stay tuned.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
When you dine at Ristorante Melisse in Amesbury, Massachusetts, you feel at home while enjoying an authentic Italian dining experience not to be forgotten. From the appetizer to dessert, you won't regret your choice. Bring your cravings and appetites. They promise you won't leave hungry or without leftovers for the next day. Takeout and catering are also available. Give them a call or visit them online for the menu, online ordering, and reservations. RistoranteMelisse.com. That's RistoranteMolise.com or call 978-388-4844. Ristorante Melisse, where you're treated like family. Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's, honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery tender lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Hope to see you soon. Our guest this morning, this is long overdue. Joe Bevilaqua. Joe is the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. And you know something? There isn't anything that happens in the Merrimack Valley that this guy isn't involved with. Like I said, as far as getting your pictures in the paper, it's unbelievable. Al Capone had nothing on this guy.
I know.
I
I
mean,
searched
you know,
for pictures for the slate.
Does your wife keep a scrapbook?
Yes, but that's probably just
how thick is it?
Well,
that's all I want to know. How thick?
Well, if she tells me it's organized, I think she just throws the papers in the bag. That's what I think. My mother would have it perfectly aligned. My mother would do it absolutely gorgeous.
My mother was the same way.
She
from
was
Little League.
Yes. Yes.
So playing at Lawrence High and everything.
I think
else.
my wife just takes them and throws them in a paper.
Oh, wait a second. I just got an email from the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce.
You did?
The networking breakfast at Burton's Grill.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Well, we do 100. Here's what we do. What's what makes us different? Not everyone has the same schedule. So what we do is we do morning programs from 8 to 9. We do noontime programs from 12 to 1. And then we do evening programs from 5 to 7. And the idea is that we're gonna make it convenient for you based on your time period.
Right. Something for everybody.
And we're also going to do it in different cities and towns because not everyone can get to the same city. So we're in every one of the cities and towns.
You know, Joe, being Italian, the both of us, I love the last name, by the way, Bevilaqua. It kind of sings, Lou.
Bevilaqua.
Does.
Especially when I spell it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's it. What does that mean?
Drink water.
Just okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. You got a function coming up, and being Italian, the both of us, when it comes to food, I mean, you can tell by looking at the both of us, we're not too shy. We don't stray away from the table too much. October 7th, you got a big event,
right?
And I'm glad you're doing this because it's been a while.
Yes, it's been we did it probably 15 or so years ago. No one else has done it. It's called the Taste of the Merrimack Valley. It's open to the public. There is the ticket price, but it's very, very low price. It'll be held at the DoubleTree Hotel in Andover. Plenty of free parking. The hotel's on one level. You don't have to climb any stairs. It's going to be great. And the idea is to showcase restaurants and caterers that have great food products and to come and try and see what's available. And the idea is something new. It's starting. It's brand new. So it's going to start slower this year, but it's going to build and build and build. It's going to be a great event. And it's formatted the way our expo started, our business trade shows.
Okay.
Our business trade shows started very, very slow when I got there. They were in effect, but they were very unsuccessful. So we not only built it, but now we have a breakfast program, a lunch program, an after-show mixer program. The expo trade show sells out. And they're so effective and so popular, we have to do 2 a year. So we do one in Haverhill at Michael's Function Hall, and then we do the other one at the DoubleTree in Andover in the fall, and that's just another example of 2 of the most successful programs the Chamber does.
That's great to hear.
But the Taste of the Merrimack Valley, they can find it on the Chamber website, and the public's invited, www.merrimackvalleychamber.com. And we're also doing it in conjunction with Merrimack Valley Eats, which is a social network influencer, and he gets hundreds of thousands of page reviews, so that's great.
Wow. This is a fundraiser, I gather.
Yeah, but it's more to introduce people to the restaurants and the caterers.
That's a tough business, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, and especially now. And so the idea is that we want to introduce them to the public at the time when people are starting to think about holiday parties, holiday
Got to book it now.
Yeah, so this gets them a chance to do it.
So you get a taste of a little bit of their food.
Yes,
and you can make a decision.
And something that we're doing that no one else is doing. We've got, the Chamber has we have a whole host of different programs that we do, but we've got a cultural historic tourism program as well. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to introduce some of those cultural historic sites at the Taste, so that as you're walking around eating, rather than watch each other eat, you can actually go visit them. And we're going to do that free of charge for them. So the idea is to promote opportunity and visitation to the Merrimack Valley.
Is that the mission statement of the Chamber?
Yeah, it's to bring business together. It's to create business. It's to keep businesses here and help them expand. And it's to encourage new businesses to come here and grow here. And that's one thing one of the best examples of the Merrimack Valley Chamber working hand in hand with the city and with the developer is the Riverwalk. The Riverwalk, as you all remember from the city of Lawrence, was absolutely dead. And nothing was happening. Working with Mike Sullivan, who was then mayor at the time, and Sal Lopoli, who was the potential developer, we started working together hand in hand with the city and the developer. And Sal went from 1 building to 2 buildings to 3 buildings, so the entire Riverwalk.
It's amazing.
And it's
look how many people work.
Oh, thousands. There's thousands of people, and he now Sal is now the second largest commercial developer in Massachusetts.
I read that recently.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
He controls about 5 million square feet of space. Has well over 1,000.
5 million.
And he's the pizza vendor now for the Red Sox, the Patriots, I think the Celtics as well. And he started with one pizza store.
Yeah, in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah,
right?
And
his father was a nice man.
Yeah,
I like this father.
And the idea though is that's an example of what the Chamber does. We worked with the city of Lawrence, for example, in the old Emerson site. The Emerson College was supposed to come to the city of Lawrence. That was before
that was in South Lawrence,
right? And we worked with them to create an industrial park, and that's now fully occupied. So that's an example of what the Chamber does. We work with small businesses. We provide opportunities for women in business, minorities in business, people that are just starting. We do free business counseling. The Chamber is very active.
There's more and more women taking high positions in business, and it's long overdue.
Absolutely.
We talked a little bit about this last week. We had the president of Encore Boston Harbor Casino, and listening to this Jen talk and the responsibility that she has,
it's amazing.
It's incredible. I mean, she's 57 years old, Joe.
Yep.
And the responsibility, 3,300 people look to her to make a living.
Well, we have we just did a program. We have a women in business program. When I got to the chamber, the women in business program was makeup and hairstyling. And I said, we're not going to do that. That's not what people need today. So we created it to be real business assistants to help women advance in their careers, to start a business. And so it's now a very, very important program of the chamber. We do quarterly lunch series, and we have a conference at the end of the year. We just finished the conference this year. Congresswoman Laurie Trahan was the keynote speaker.
Oh, wow.
We had 4 women business women as panelists, and one of them was from Pfizer. Pfizer is the company that you got your shot from, potentially. But also we had a woman who was a small business operator.
Was that the one and out?
One and
No,
out.
that was the other one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think that may be the other one. Pfizer's the better one, I think. But
You're not prejudiced, are you?
no,
No.
but I'm not giving medical advice either. Just a disclaimer.
Be careful.
I am not giving
Be
any.
careful.
I am not giving any medical advice.
We have a hard enough time with Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get in enough trouble.
I'm not giving any medical advice. But what the idea is that we have women executives from large companies as well as single person startups. And because we do free business counseling at the chamber with 2 quasi public agencies, women who are thinking of starting a business come to the chamber and they get free counseling. We also do it in English or Spanish. The idea is that we help minority owned businesses grow and expand. And that's a growing part of our chamber.
How about the lending aspect of it? Do you have certain banks that you kind of have?
We do a combination of things. Not only do we have a great relationship with the banks and the credit unions in the Merrimack Valley, but we also have great relationships with some of the public and quasi-public agencies who can provide loans, who can provide loan guarantees. For example, like the SBA can provide a loan guarantee, so it takes the risk away from the bank, to make a loan, which is very
That's
important.
a good point. That's a good point.
And
right?
we are so well recognized by organizations like the SBA that they asked us to host their statewide annual conference this year. And they had someone from Washington come down, and we hosted their statewide annual conference. So we're recognized for doing things well. And that's the goal. The goal is to make a real difference.
That's not easy.
Not in today, but that's why the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce. And if you have listeners that want to become a member of the Merrimack Valley Chamber, they can join. In fact, we actually have someone from Tampa, Florida, whose office is in Tampa, Florida, join the chamber. We have someone whose office is in California, but comes back and forth here. But the idea is that you can join the Chamber of Commerce. You can check us on the web at www.merrimackvalleychamber.com. We have a young people in business program because, as you know, businesses, are going to go to the next generation. And so we have, it's called Next Generation Leaders Program. As I mentioned, women in business, nonprofit. We do human resources. We do the expos. We do government affairs. We start the year off with the mayors and the town managers of the Merrimack Valley, and the lieutenant governor joins us.
A lot to it.
Yeah, the next we do the Congress members, we do the state senators, the state reps. We had the Ways and Means chair from the who represents the North End came down to speak to us, and we also have the governor coming for the annual dinner. So we have a number of elected officials speak to us. Is another one of our programs. So every single aspect we have, as I mentioned, culture and tourism and history as part of a chamber program. So we try to cover all the bases.
Louis, you have a question?
Just how are you enjoying your tenure with the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce? What would you, if you had a wish list, what would be the next thing you'd take on?
Another 50 years. No, I think that we have a great working relationship with the mayors and the town managers.
So
they'll tell you that they'll tell you that we have a great working relationship with the state legislators, with the members of Congress. I'm really not sure. We're trying to keep base. It's amazing. This is where Michael and Mary Beth really play an important role. Michael is constantly looking at new technology. Mary Beth is actually working on a new technology program right now that does something that'll help my membership communication much better. They're doing that. I don't get involved in that because that's not my forte. But that's one of the things.
Are you out of the curve electronically?
A little bit, not too much, but but listen, Lou,
I don't even have a doorbell that works.
Yeah. No, but listen to this. When I started with the chamber, there were no cell phones.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
When I started with the chamber, I remember this. We were at a state chamber conference, and one chamber president was beaming. He had just signed up for internet service. It had just started. And we're all telling him, hey, how do you know this thing works? Because once you make a promise to your members, you're going to deliver.
Oh, yeah.
And sure enough, within a week, the internet company went out.
The biggest plus you got going, the labor force here in the Merrimack Valley is outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at companies like the Western Electric, Joe,
Right.
many years ago, there were like 13, 14,000 people
Right.
working
Well-
there. And it's because they were good workers. A lot of them were people that came from Canada and wherever. And you know something, they made good job. Wang, there's
Right.
another one.
It was generational.
Look at Raytheon.
Right. It was generational.
I mean, there's something to work with, and they're good workers.
So what we do, Mike, we have a program called Labor Education and Workforce Development.
Do you really?
Absolutely everything you're going to think of, we have. So we just did a program at our expo. We had the Massachusetts Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, speaking about that very same issue, about opportunities for employers, opportunities for employees, because there are training programs available for businesses right now to train what they call incumbent workers, someone who's currently working, or new employees. And we had a panel of speakers who give different aspects of the workforce.
The Lawrence Airport, Joe, the municipal airport, that's a plus too. Isn't
Absolutely. In fact, several of our
Francisco,
companies,
you know,
he's
he's
awesome.
awesome.
The best. And several of our companies use it on a regular basis. In fact, Michael and I were coming back from a meeting the other day, and we saw a bigger plane come in. It's one of our members bringing something in, and you know, the idea is that it's just a great opportunity. You know, and today everything is, you know, MEVA, which is the bus system, is very, very important. You know, the state is working to get the trains better. You know, the MBTA service much better, but there's so many great opportunities here in the Merrimack Valley, and our membership.
If you want to work, you can.
Yeah, and our membership stretches. We have members from Newburyport all the way through the Merrimack Valley. You know, past
some Southern New Hampshire.
Southern New Hampshire. You know, Tuscan.
Yeah.
Is, you know, one of our
Joe.
Yeah, you know, and
it's amazing what's going on there.
You know, I'll tell you, you give Joe Farrow a great deal of credit. You know, and his father who started the company, and then Joe taking it over and really building it. But he literally built a city in Salem.
Absolutely.
He built a new city.
There was no main street in Salem,
Nothing,
New Hampshire.
you know,
Route 28 was mostly for business.
That's right.
Now you have everything you
have
possibly
everything.
want.
No,
hey, listen, I'm glad you're able to stay with me till the end of the show.
Yes.
I have one more commercial break.
Lunch is coming.
Huh? We're going to take a break, everybody. We'll be
So
right back.
Tell him, Joe. Tell him.
You should bring me on more.
I should.
You should.
I like it. I don't have to say 2 words.
You don't have to. That's what Bruce used to say.
Louis, you taking us out?
Yep.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Sisters and co-owners Antoinetta and Elisa brought their family authentic Italian recipes from Molise, Italy, and a warm and welcoming dining experience to its customers at Ristorante Molise. The combination of their meals made from natural, homemade, fresh ingredients, and your time with family and friends together at dinner time is unmatched. Located in Market Square in the heart of Amesbury, they're open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday from 3 to 9 p.m. and and are available for private parties during off hours. For reservations, call them at 978-388-4844. That's 978-388-4844. Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's, honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler.
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
he is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery tender Lazy Man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back with Joe Bevilaqua. We've been talking about the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce, and you can tell how animated Joe gets. He gets excited. You mentioned the chamber.
And I don't even have a cup of coffee here. Nothing.
Do you see me with a cup of coffee?
You have water. I'd rather have coffee. Bruce used to give me coffee. Oh,
There's
and
the
Lou.
guy to complain to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, listen, you've won quite a few awards here. The Mass Grand Lodge Sons of Italy Public Service Award.
Yeah.
What is that about?
That was because I was a public official at the time, and they give awards out in
Oh,
May.
because of Haverhill.
Yeah, because they give out awards, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, they give awards out every year. There's at their annual meeting or whatever, and there was Mike and George Stella. Do you remember them?
Sure.
Mike and George Stella nominated me, and I was fortunate enough to be the Public Service Award recipient.
Outstanding. I think Mike Sullivan should get it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. You also you're a recipient of the Mallory Award.
Emiliori Award. Yeah, that's a
biggie.
Yeah, that's a big one. You have to wear a tuxedo and everything there. You know, I was nominated.
You wore a tuxedo?
You have to. Yeah, this big, yeah, I dress up nice. Yeah, I have to get a tuxedo. Yeah, but this is Boston Magazine calls it the most prestigious award
I see that.
someone of Italian descent can receive. And Dino Pasquale nominated me. and Dino's from Italy, and I would go to have coffee with Dino, and he would give me an Italian history lesson every time I go there. He's got a memory that's like it's amazing, and so I was lucky to have that award as well.
That's understand. And this year, Unico,
yeah,
recognize you, and that's another big.
Yeah, they're the largest Italian service club in the United States, which I never realized. And Domenico, who's the current, the outgoing president, Antonio from Haverhill is the incoming president. They gave me their leadership award, which obviously is a big tribute. And again, I mean, you've worked hard to get where you're at. Yeah, but I don't take credit for this. The person that I give credit to is my father and also to my mother, because they're the ones that inspired me, that raised me, that gave me the direction. So whatever I've achieved, isn't because of me, it's because of my parents. And I remember when I was a kid driving around with my father would tell me an Italian built this, an Italian created this, an Italian did this, that type of thing. I'd hear that. I heard that all the time growing up. My father was very proud of everybody, but he was proud of being Italian. And so I have a lot of friends that are very successful that are Italian background, and I'm just proud of what they've done, as well as the person that, was working behind a counter. Everyone that does something, I'm proud of. If they work and they help their families, I'm proud of that. If help educate kids, I'm proud of that. But I don't take credit for any award. I've got a whole host of awards on different things.
Your wife has them all mounted.
No, they're in a box somewhere. In fact, I've got 4.
You keep knocking your wife. I don't like this.
No, but they're in a box.
She throws
I don't even know where they are.
Articles in
a bag. And the best one of all is I've got 4 chairs. I've got awards from different organizations, so they give you a chair, like those kind of fancy chairs. So I said, "Well, what are you gonna do when I'm gone?" She said, "Burn them."
Wow,
that's funny.
I'm only kidding. But the reality is that really and truly, I give credit not to me. It's really the way I was. I really give credit to my father and my mother, because they're the ones that raised us.
Many years ago, there was some rumors circulating around the city of Lawrence that they wanted to build a casino in Lawrence.
I'll tell you my experience with that. I was relatively new at the chamber. I got a call one day and said, "We want to make a presentation before your chamber, and before you." And we have an executive committee, so we brought them into the executive committee, and it was a casino proposal, and they wanted to take over. They had done a study, and they did a 50-mile radius. This is a true story. They did a 50-mile radius survey, and they thought that the Lawrence Stadium was the ideal location for a casino because it allowed access by train, by plane, because of the airports, Logan Airport,
495,
right, and then 495 and 93, and they would have paid a huge amount of money to the city and to the region, and there would be no taxes paid by the city of Lawrence residents. And unfortunately, at the time, Massachusetts did not allow casino gambling. So
there was a couple of proposals that had come up, but they got rejected.
That was true. But we and they never told us who they were. I suspected of who I thought they were, but they never told us who they were. But they had literally all the plans. And I remember this like yesterday.
It was a huge plot of land.
It was huge.
If you take the stadium, it goes all the way down to the Shawshene River on the North Andover side. That area, that would have been gorgeous.
And they said only 16. I remember this like yesterday. Only 16% of the floor area was going to be devoted to gambling. The rest was going to be hotel, restaurants, retail, and they were going to rebuild the stadium wherever the city wanted to put it. And
it's a memorial stadium.
Huge amount of jobs, huge amount of taxes. The city of Lawrence would not have paid a penny in taxes forever because of the casino.
We have some people that are saying hi to you, Joe. Bill D'Orazio. Bill, I call him Mr. Encore because Bill has a Facebook page. It's called Everything Encore Boston Harbor. And he's got like 14,000 people that belong to it.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible. You talk about networking, you could have a ball with him.
Well, you should talk to, you know what you can do for me, though, seriously? You could talk to, seriously, if you would, give a call to the president of Encore, and I want to go meet with her because we could have her come down here and do a program. We could maybe even have developed an affinity program with our membership.
You would love Jen.
No, I'm serious.
I mean, I was very, very impressed. Nancy DeMarco was saying hello, and
I'll give you my card so you won't forget.
I even have a card. Look, I even have a card that he's given.
We could create an affinity pro. We could do an event there.
Oh, that's not a bad idea,
is it?
Barbara Cody is saying hello. Andy Parisi saying hi. Yay.
You know what they're all saying is bring him back.
Is that what they're saying, Lou?
They're saying bring him back. They're saying what
Not
other
in so many
speaker have you-
words, but yes.
What other speaker you've had with as much energy and enthusiasm?
I'll give you that. No,
Right?
you're infectious. You are.
And
I
I get
don't
up,
mean like
and
a
I get
disease
up. I
either.
get up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since then.
I get up every morning between 4:15 and 4:30.
Yeah.
Best time of the day,
Yeah.
For you.
in my opinion. I get more done without phone calls. You know, people mean well, but jeepers creepers, they want to talk because they got nothing to do. I got a few things I'd like to take care of. You know what I mean? You know?
I get up early every morning. I do my exercises. I go walk, ride my bike.
So anyway, where do you see the chamber, Merrimack Valley Chamber, say in 10 years?
Well, it'll definitely be here. There's no doubt about it. You know, the chamber will survive. It's going to grow. It actually is.
How many
growing.
people work?
There's only two others beside me. I tell you, Mary Beth and Michael. We do 110
That's
programs a year.
everybody?
That is it. And no outside.
Who does the presentations?
We do it all. Oh, we have speakers. We bring speakers in.
You bring speakers in.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we do, and we have no outside consultants. We do it all ourselves.
That's amazing.
Because I always believe, I learned this from my father, you want to have in-house capability. You know, you want to be able to do it. So we don't have to rely upon an outside consultant. We do, you know, pretty much the only thing we'll do outside is we'll do printing. You know, we print a directory that's done by a printer, but it's written by us inside. And the programs are developed by Michael and I, and we have great input from the board members. You know,
was ex-mayor Mike Sullivan a help or a hindrance?
No, he's actually.
I know he's listening, so I think.
No, he's actually very good. You know,
Mike.
You know,
Mike
Mike.
is
And I'm telling you, we
the best. The best.
As I mentioned, the Riverwalk would not be in place if it wasn't for Mike Sullivan.
He doesn't
And
get
I mean
enough
that,
credit.
And I mean
He really
and I
doesn't.
mean that sincerely. And we actually, what people don't realize is, we actually we're working with a company that was going to considered moving to the Riverwalk, but they were very, very concerned about image and other issues, and they didn't want anything to leak out ahead of time. They wanted to have a meeting with Mike on a Sunday morning. Now, I'm a former city official. You never see city officials meeting on a Sunday morning. Mike Sullivan, this true story. Ask Mike when you see him next. Mike Sullivan called a meeting on a Sunday morning with department heads, and guess what? 10 department heads came.
Wow.
Everyone. This was a Sunday morning, and I think it was the morning of the Super Bowl. I think. But you asked Mike Sullivan. That's a true story, and that is a true story. Absolutely. The other group was the other funny story with Mike and the Riverwalk is we actually received a delegation from the former Soviet Union. This is about when Mike was mayor, and they wanted to see how America was dealing with heavy.
You know
industrial
something?
buildings.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
City Hall.
And so we were walking through the Riverwalk, and it was amazing because Sal was trying to communicate to them, and they only had one interpreter, and Sal is getting louder and louder. And so Mike says to Sal, they're Russian, they're not deaf. But they wanted to see how America was dealing with heavy industrial buildings. And the boiler room for the entire Riverwalk complex is where the credit union is now in PMA. And they converted that into first-class office space. But the Riverwalk really was a model for the rest of heavy industrial buildings, the adaptive reuse. And so, but Mike Sullivan was fantastic, and his administration, and obviously we're working very close with Mayor DePena now. You know, he's very, very positive in terms of development. Mayor Perry and Bethune, you know, the town managers in Andover, not the Andover. You know, we have great relationships with everyone.
The Chamber of Commerce is a 501c3.
Yep.
It means it's a nonprofit. And the scrutiny you have to go to become a 501c3, and the rules and regulations you have to maintain.
Yep.
The Sandalfio Society is a 501c3. So it's no joke.
No,
I mean,
we do.
You got to have everything.
No,
the eyes have to be.
No, and one of the things that we did too over the years is when Marlin Mills burnt down, you know, we raised $350,000 for the Employee Relief Fund. $350,000, and 100% of the money went to the Employee Relief Fund. We didn't take a cent out of it. And the funny part about it was it
just through fundraisers you guys
through
did.
the chamber. And when Aaron came to get the check, Al Cornelis, who was his right hand at the time,
Al Cornelis.
Al said
the best.
Al was the best. So Al, but I'll tell you a story though. Al said Aaron's got to go, and we had Time Magazine, we had the national TV stations here, everybody, and Aaron is leaving. We actually made the check presentation to Aaron on the sidewalk as he was getting in the car, and I have Time Magazine, Newsweek, all the major national stations.
Everybody covered it
because of the fact that it was such huge.
Yeah,
and he doesn't care. Because he had to go give some checks to some nonprofits. But the other thing we did, let me tell you this real quick. The chamber also does a lot. We just did a backpack drive for kids in the Greater Lawrence area. We raised a whole host of books, supplies, backpack drives. Last year we did 7 food drives. We did a diaper drive. We did a book drive.
Wow.
We do a lot, to help the community as well.
And you don't toot your own horn because a lot of that, what you just said, I didn't hear of. I didn't see it anywhere.
Yeah.
All you do is you go to watch the news or read the paper. All they want is bad news.
Yep.
You got bad news because bad news sells.
Yep.
It's got to be dramatic.
No, we work in conjunction with the United Way, on the food drives and the diaper drives. We did something the other day, about a month ago, with the chamber, in terms of backpacks. Because it's amazing how much need there is in the communities.
I want to ask you, how close were you with Al Canellis, Malden Mills?
The best. Al was the best. In fact,
I got a quick story. We only got about a minute. When I got thrown out of Central Catholic, I went to Lawrence High. So we had 1961. We had a very good football team. We went undefeated. We absolutely demolished Haverhill, by the way. But I'm sorry I even brought it up. I'm sorry.
But you had to.
But anyway, Al Canellis, he back then there was something called the shops, and you learn a trade just like the vocational school.
Right.
So Al comes up to me. I just walked into the school. He says, "I want you to run for vice president." I says, something, I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. Don't worry about it. In the print shop, they made these posters. You would have been proud of them because this is right up your boat. They made posters. Vote for Mike Lamazzo for vice president. Every place you look, you go to your locker, you see my picture hanging on your locker. And I didn't even know him that well, but we became very, very close friends.
A true story about Al, I'll tell you real quick. Al was on our executive committee, and we would talk about obviously the economy. He would say, "Don't worry about Mexico as much. Start worrying about China." This was like a decade ago.
Way ahead of himself.
Al was way ahead of what he knew what was happening in the world economy. But Al smoked big cigars. He had a big cigar in his pocket one day. When Al got excited, he would take out a cigar and he'd go like this. I say, "Al, put that away. That thing is dangerous."
It's a weapon. It was like a sword.
But he was the best.
Listen, we're out of time. Joe,
oh my God.
What can I tell you?
I think you should bring me back and have coffee this time.
Is that what you think?
I think so.
How do you like your coffee?
Black.
How do you like it? Cream and sugar?
Black.
You
Paper
drink it
cup.
black?
I just cost black.
Were you in the Navy?
No.
Huh?
No. I'm from Haverhill.
Just check. Hey, listen, next week, Luke.
Thank you to all your listeners, by the way. And I think you should call and write and say, "Bring him back."
Are you done? Or is
No,
there more?
I can go on more. I have no script in front of me. I have no notes.
I know.
You tell your readers or your listeners you have no notes?
I'm proud of you.
No notes. Other people come, they pass papers around.
Me. Next week.
Yeah.
Limoncello, baby.
Oh,
guess who's coming in the
Fabrizio.
studio? The Limoncello King.
Yeah.
Fabrizio.
Yeah.
Fabrizio Spirits.
All right.
We're looking forward to it. That's a big, big company. They've done very well. He's the biggest lemon producer. Started in 2008. We got to run. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.